Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I know I'm about a minute late. Zach's already calling me out. He's already saying I'm on the moon, but he was the first in the stream. So good morning, Zach. First of all, first comment and like, thank you very much. And Kitchener, Rich, Michael, Silver, good morning to everybody who's gotten here already, who beat me even to the stream. So I was a little late today. It was a late night last night. And it was a late morning this morning. So welcome to the stream. We've got a lot to talk about. There's a ton of news about a lot of our favorite stocks. DWAC, Sundial, both have big news that came out yesterday. And we're going to cover that. So first off, we'll probably wait just a minute or two for some people to get in the stream. We'll talk about something a little bit less important. Let's take a peek at the retail sales numbers that just came out. And then we'll start talking about DWAC and Sundial once we've got some people in here. Good morning, Rocky Mountain Gobblers and JL. What's up, man? And Silver's talking about the Red Wedding. I assume that's a Game of Thrones reference. We'll see what Powell does later today. We'll see what he does. And actually, you know what? I remember I forgot to turn off the fan or turn on the fan. I'll be right back. Hold up 1 second, guys. Okay, there we go. That fan is very important for keeping the stream going as long as we do. So Eric, hello, what's up, man? What's up? So first things first, the core retail or just the regular retail sales numbers month over month. They came in today. They measured the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, and they were actually a lot worse than expected. We were forecast to have a 0.8% increase, and we saw a 0.3% increase. So a dramatic drop in the value of retail sales. It looks like people aren't spending that much. For some reason, people didn't spend that much. I think this is the November number. And it looks like people have cut back their spending a little bit. Maybe that's going to fall more in line. Let me check the consumer savings rate. Let's see, personal savings rate from the St. Louis Fed. This might fall more in line. Okay, so here we go. We've got the personal savings rate for the past couple of months right here. Actually, the past couple of years. And you can see we've already talked about this chart a couple of times. But basically what happened when we saw a big increase in the savings rate was when the stimulus checks came out. And you saw the first one had a massive increase in the savings rate. The second one had a smaller increase. It was a smaller check. And then the third one had, also a smaller increase than the first one. I guess people were a little bit less worried. Fewer people probably deposited the money into their accounts and maybe just spent it right off the bat. So now you can see the savings rate has gotten pretty low, and retail spending has actually followed it. So if you look, these are retail sales numbers month over month. We used to have pretty high retail sales numbers just a couple of months ago. And even last month, we had a 1.8% increase in retail sales. Now we're down to 0.3%. So it's not all that bad. And Zach Taylor's saying, y'all saw Elon's tweet with Senator Elizabeth Warren. I didn't see that, but that sounds very interesting. I'm going to have to check that out real quick. That sounds very interesting. Anything Elon tweets sounds interesting to me. So Elon Musk. Let's see what he said to Elizabeth Warren. Let's see. Good morning, Manny C. Let's tweets and replies. We probably have to go to tweets and replies too. So, okay. Here we go. So we've got Elizabeth Warren right here. 2 days ago, she tweeted out, "Let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone." Wow. So she's just calling out Elon Musk right here. And she's actually putting up an article about him being named the Times Person of the Year. Okay. And then Musk replied, "And if you opened your eyes for 2 seconds, you would realize I will pay more taxes than any American in history this year. Don't spend it all at once." Oh, wait, you did already. All right. That's pretty good, Elon. I'll even give those some likes. That's pretty good. So that's a really cool tweet from Elon. I like that. That's very interesting to see. Very strange move for Elizabeth Warren to be calling out Elon Musk. I mean, it seems like a bad move. I feel like Elon Musk is more liked than she is. I'm not sure what she's thinking doing that, but it's interesting. Very cool tweet. Thanks for pointing that out, Zach. That's a cool one. I certainly like Elon Musk, so I'll give him some likes on that. Now we've gotten some people in here. We can start talking about some of this news that came out for DWAC, and there's more There's more, says Zach Taylor. More Elon tweets? Is there more? There's more. He called her Senator Karen. All right, let me check. Let me go back to Twitter. We have to check that out. That sounds too good to be true, but we'll see. Elon, where is he? All right, tweets and replies again. We'll go back. So, let's see. Okay, replying to @Elon Musk and Sen Warren. So this is 17 hours ago. I guess he is replying to her. He says, "You remind me of when I was a kid and my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason. Please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen." All right, we'll give those some likes too. Those are some good ones. I'm not sure why they didn't show up in the original thread over here, but good job, Elon. I like what he's doing. That's good stuff. And NJ Niner Zulu, it looks like NJ's definitely changed his name. It used to just be NJ. But thank you for the super chat. He says, likes and super chats for this awesome channel. Well, I'll point out, we've already got 37 viewers in the stream. We just started about 5 minutes ago, and we've got 20 likes. So maybe we could bump it up to 30. Maybe we could get another 10 likes, another 50% increase in the like button. We could potentially do that. That would be appreciated, guys. Now that we've looked at the Elon tweets, we will finally take a peek at the DWAC news first, even though we don't have everybody in the stream yet. We'll take a look at the DWAC news first. So Trump Media and Technology Group announces partnership with Rumble. We already kind of knew this was happening, right? Rumble had already said in an interview that they would be working with Truth Social and TMTG, but this is in greater detail. And good morning, Penny Smith. What's up? So Palm Beach, Florida, blah, blah, blah. Trump Media and Technology Group today announced that it has entered into a wide-ranging technology and cloud services agreement with Rumble Inc. Rumble, as part of the partnership, Rumble will deliver video and streaming for Truth Social. So, good stuff. An already developed platform like Rumble, that's certainly going to be a good ally to have in the video streaming space. And let's see, TMTG and Rumble are also in exclusive negotiations for Rumble to provide infrastructure and video delivery services for TMTG's subscription video on demand product, TMTG Plus. Sounds a lot like Disney Plus. We've been talking about this for a while. That's going to be their subscription service. That's what they're expecting to have about 40 million subscribers for in 2026, and are expecting to be charging an average of $9 per month from those subscribers. So they'll be getting quite a bit of revenue from this if their projections are accurate. So it's looking like a pretty good situation for them. And if Rumble is providing infrastructure and video delivery services for it, that could certainly be a good thing for CFVI stock also. So good stuff. Now, this is a quote from President Donald J. Trump, chairman of TMTG, commented, "As part of our mission, TMTG continues to align with service providers who do not discriminate against political ideology. Therefore, I have selected the Rumble Cloud to serve as a critical backbone for TMTG infrastructure. TMTG has already launched True Social on the Rumble Cloud for invited guests only, and the initial beta launch has been excellent. America is ready for True Social and the end to cancel culture." So that's probably going to garner some support from some people at least. And you can see when this news was released, DWAC stock jumped up a decent amount. It then got bounced off of near 55 again, which is where we've been seeing some issues in the past, over the past couple of days. If you look back, 55, once we dropped below it, we struggled to maintain that level, and then we did actually bounce off of it near the end of the market. I think this was Monday that we did that. And then we moved down, struggled with 50 on Tuesday. This finally got us back up above 50. We're going to see if we can't make our way back up above 55. Hopefully we can. Now, Chris Pavlovsky, the founder and chief and CEO of Rumble, said Rumble is excited to provide technology and cloud services to TMTG. We continue to build the infrastructure to deliver a free, open, and neutral internet. Rumble was designed to be immune to cancel culture, and we are at the forefront of a movement that believes everyone benefits from access to a neutral platform that hosts diverse ideas and opinions. So, very cool stuff. Very good news for both TMTG and Rumble. It sounds like this partnership could be doing quite well for both of them over the long term. So they'll be doing pretty good from the look of it. That's good to see. That's good to see that they are teaming up as we anticipated, right? Rumble, the CEO of Rumble already said that they would be working together, but this confirms that idea and gives us some additional details on what exactly their partnership will be. So that is good stuff, and we'll probably have to cover that in another maybe 30 minutes or so once we get the rest of the viewers in here. After all, we have only been streaming for about 10 minutes, and people take their time getting in. So The next interesting thing for Sundial, for the Sundial fans, are that Malta lawmakers approved marijuana legalization bill, and the president's signature is expected soon. So Malta's parliament on Tuesday approved a bill to legalize marijuana, setting the country up as the first in Europe to enact the reform as soon as the measure is formally signed into law by the president. That's expected to happen within just a couple of days. And this was published 22 hours ago, so probably sometime this week we could be seeing that. Under the legislation, adults 18 and older will be allowed to possess up to 7 grams of cannabis and cultivate up to 4 plants for personal use. So that's interesting. Okay, and then it says up to 50 grams of homegrown marijuana could be stored at home. Okay, because 7 grams is not that much if you're cultivating 4 plants, it sounds like. So that would be strange, but I guess 7 grams is what you can carry on the street. And then 50 grams is what you can store at home. Now, yeah, 7 grams, I can see that not being enough for people like Snoop Dogg. He might need a little bit more. But for most people, that should be fine to carry around on the street. Now, while there wouldn't be a commercial market per se, nonprofit cooperatives would be able to cultivate marijuana and distribute it to members. Okay. So it looks like they're not fully legalizing it, right? They're not allowing commercialization. They're not allowing businesses to crop up. But this is definitely a step in the right direction for Europe, right? It's the first in Europe to enact this kind of reform. So possession of more than 7 grams but less than 28 grams by an adult would be punishable by a small fine without the threat of jail time or a criminal record. Good stuff. And minors who are found in possession would be referred to a commission for justice for a care plan rather than face arrest. Very nice. So overall, it seems pretty lenient. It seems like a decent bill. Once again, not necessarily benefiting businesses, because businesses can't actually partake in the sale of cannabis. They'd have to be non-profit cooperatives. So overall, not necessarily going to help Sundial's financials. Not that Sundial is in Europe right now. It could have been more beneficial for TLRY if they were allowing businesses to partake in the sale. Right, TLRY has a distribution center in Portugal, so they could have potentially done some shipments into Malta, but as it stands, it seems like this is just a step in the right direction, and potentially over the next couple of months or years, they'll fully legalize it. We'll see. This is probably just an initial step. So cannabis clubs that would be authorized under the bill could have as many as 500 members and would be limited to distributing 7 grams per day to each member with a maximum of 50 grams per month. Interesting. So they could also distribute up to 20 cannabis seeds per member each month. Interesting. So you could have cannabis clubs. Once again, I think those have to be non-profit. I'm not entirely sure how they would distribute cannabis, how they would afford the cannabis if they're non-profit. I guess people could donate or pay some dues to be part of the cannabis clubs, and then the excess profits would just have to go towards maybe the CEO's paycheck. Who knows? It doesn't really sound like a non-profit to me if that's what they're doing. But while there was debate among lawmakers about whether to set a THC limit on marijuana products, they ultimately decided against the notion because you'll be creating a new market for the black market. That makes a lot of sense. Hopefully they don't go along with something like that in the United States. I know people in the US, they certainly like their high THC cannabis. They don't want a limit on it, and that would definitely create a black market if we did that here. So it makes sense that's what would happen in Malta also. Okay, and this is a quote from Bonizzi, who serves as the government's Minister for Equality. He says, what we need to do is educate people and inform them day after day. Okay, good stuff. So overall, definitely a good move. This would definitely help with U.S. legalization. More people are probably going to look at Europe as if they're finally taking the steps in the right direction and are going to look at the U.S. like potentially the U.S. is being foolish, not doing the same thing. So I think that's only a good thing for cannabis legalization across the board. And was there any other Sundial news? I forget. There might have been something. So, okay. The U.S. Supreme Court has been asked to settle states' conflict on medical marijuana insurance reimbursement. So maybe we'll take a peek at that. Let's see what that's all about. I remember seeing that yesterday. But the Malta news was the most interesting to me. So also about cannabis, this is U.S. Supreme Court asked to settle states' conflict on medical marijuana insurance reimbursement. So the U.S. Supreme Court is being asked, all right, we've read that 3 times now, so they're being asked to decide whether Workers should be reimbursed for the cost of medical cannabis used to treat job-related injuries. That's interesting. That's going to be interesting to see what they decide on that. Good morning, Maria and Shadow Girl. What's up? And NA Photography. Welcome. Welcome. We've been going through a lot of news, so we've got a lot to cover, but this is an interesting story on the U.S. Supreme Court deciding stuff about cannabis, despite it being illegal at the federal level. They're being asked to solve a dispute about medical cannabis at the state level. So, to date, state courts have come to differing conclusions on the issue of, and by the way, the issue that we're discussing in this article is whether insurance should reimburse workers for the cost of medical cannabis used to treat job-related injuries. So, if you get hurt on the job, and you're a worker, and you want medical cannabis to help treat whatever injury you've got, then you want insurance to pay for it. And right now, the Supreme Court is deciding whether insurance has to do that or not. So, in a front of the court brief last week, Empire and two other groups say the justices should take up an appeal out of Minnesota, using it to settle the broader tension of the conflict between the state and federal cannabis laws for good. Okay, so they haven't accepted this yet. But they may accept it. Going further than the narrow issue of workers' compensation reimbursement for marijuana, a key piece of the group's argument is that the federal government has been so inconsistent in its enforcement of cannabis laws that prohibition should be overturned entirely. All right. And here's a quote from the brief that they gave. The court should take this opportunity to prevent the further spread of this insidious condition by invocation of the doctrine of estoppel. All right, I don't really know what they're talking about here. It should find that the Schedule 1 status of cannabis under the Federal Controlled Substances Act is no longer enforceable. Doing so will cure the problem. Interesting. So we'll see if the court ends up taking up this case. We'll probably look more into that later, potentially later today, but it doesn't look like any of this news, right? The Malta legalization that we talked about earlier, or the U.S. Supreme Court potentially taking up this case, it doesn't look like any of that has affected Sundial's price, right? Sundial has basically stayed the same throughout the after hours and pre-market. It hasn't moved too much in any direction. And we'll zoom in a little bit on some of these charts just so we can get a better view of what's going on. It looks like DWAC was rallying a bit, took a little bit of a downturn just a minute or so ago, and now it's recovering. So we'll see what happens with that. AMC, for anyone who's interested in AMC, I will actually put a poll. I will put a poll in the chat real quick asking you guys which one you're most bullish on, because I am curious. We'll do DWAC, Sundial, and AMC. We'll include AMC in there. We'll see what you guys think about it. And what other stock did we want to include? We'll do SPY. We'll see. Maybe some people just like the S&P more than other stocks. So there we go. So we've got the poll coming in any second. You guys should see it popping up. And it's asking which stock you're most bullish on. The options are DWAC, Sundial, AMC, or SPY. And while you guys are hitting the buttons on those polls, feel free to hit the like button also. We're very close. We're very close to 40 likes. We only need 2 more likes to get to 40, and we've got about 80 viewers in the stream, so I know we can do it. And some people are taking after Elon Musk and calling Elizabeth Warren Smokahontas. So I'm just saying, that's what some people in the chat are saying. Twitter. We'll pull up Twitter just for those of you who didn't see those tweets from Elon in the beginning. They were amusing. So Elon Musk has been talking with Senator Elizabeth Warren. So December 13th, Elizabeth Warren, for those of you who missed it, we've got some new people in here by now. Elizabeth Warren tweeted out, let's change. And first of all, I will point out that the reason she tweeted this is because Elon Musk was named Times' Person of the Year. So impressive for Elon. And Elizabeth Warren tweeted in response to that, let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else. And then Elon, he did not take kindly to that. He did not like hearing that. It seemed probably not right for her to say. So Elon tweeted, back at her. And if you opened your eyes for 2 seconds, you would realize I will pay more taxes than any American in history this year. Don't spend it all at once. Oh, wait, you already did. So, very amusing tweets from Elon. And he also tweeted down below, replying to himself and Senator Warren, "You remind me of when I was a kid and my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason. Please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen." So, very cool stuff from Elon. He's doing pretty good. I think he definitely deserves Person of the Year, even if all he did was these tweets. I think he would deserve Person of the Year this year. So he replied with one of her Native American stories too. Let's see if we can find it. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Let's see if we can't find that. Where would it be? The Native American stories. So let's see. And just so you guys know, the whole Native American deal, for those of you who aren't aware, is that I don't know if I have the information exactly right on this, but basically Elizabeth Warren, I think she was going to college, she was applying to college, and she put on her resume, or not her resume, but her application that she was Native American, and they tested her, and she's like 1/1000th or something very low, but she still got into college saying she was Native American. So that's the whole deal. If you ever hear people talking about that, that's what people are referring to. But I can't find that Elon tweet. Let's go back to his page and see if we can find it. Yeah, I don't know where that Native American tweet is. So maybe it's kind of old. I mean, we're going back pretty far now. I don't think he'd be interacting with her past this. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but I'll find it at some point. I'll look through Twitter. I'm not. Yeah, Twitter's probably suppressing. Oh, probably being suppressed. Best not to look at and look for it. We probably don't want it to show up on the stream. Otherwise, this stream might not be viewable. So we won't look at that. But yeah, no, it couldn't find it. So there we go. We couldn't find the Elon tweet, but we found some other good ones. They were interesting ones. And we will take a quick peek at cryptocurrency, as well as some of the other economic events that we've got coming out. At 10:30, crude oil inventories are coming out. So we'll take a peek at that. But we've also got... and Kitchener Leslie said something interesting, I think. Or no, Silver said it. Who will be the they of the year? Yeah. So, all right. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up 1.55%, up to $47,700. Ethereum up 1% to $3,800. Binance Coin up 1% to $522. Overall, a decent day for cryptos, except for Dogecoin. It's falling a little bit. It was up a bit more. It was up to 20 cents when Elon tweeted that they would be accepting Dogecoin for some Tesla merch and that kind of stuff. But now it's back down to 17 cents. So it's looking like it was unable to retain the highs that it reached on that news. And we'll take a peek at the chart just to see what's going on. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so here we are on the chart. So Dogecoin did get a big spike up when Elon tweeted about it. Since then, it's been moving down a little. It's gotten to some new lows today, down into the 17s. So we'll see if it can regain some of these highs. Maybe this is the calm before the storm. Maybe it moves back up. We'll see if we can get that happening with Dogecoin. I'm holding some Dogecoin, so I'd be happy to see it happen. It looks like Elon has not forgotten about Dogecoin. So we'll see if we can get some more Dogecoin hype coming in. It seems like Elon is in full support of Dogecoin. It would be very cool. I mean, if in the future he started accepting it on his Mars colonies or something like that, that would definitely pump the price up, but that's not for a very long time. So it's good to see that Elon hasn't forgotten about Doge, though. That is a decent reason to still hold some of it, if you guys already had it cheap. Now, the economic calendar. So, also for those of you who are new to the stream, I will pull this up. The retail sales month over month, measuring the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, is down, right? We were expecting an increase of 0.8%, and we actually saw an increase of 0.3%. So, fairly low compared to what we were expecting, and definitely very low compared to the past couple of months that we've gotten. So, overall, not great numbers to see In fact, the past couple of months have all been much higher than this. We saw 1.7% increase, a 0.7% increase, and another 0.7% increase. So this 0.3 is rather disappointing. This is the first miss in a while that we've seen. So not the best, not the best. And Worlza, what's up, man? I'm doing pretty good. I got started a little late today, but we're doing fine. I'm a little tired, but that's it. I got some coffee with me, so that's all good. And once again, at 10:30 today, crude oil inventory. So we're going to take a peek at those. We'll be around for those. We'll see what those are when they come out. It'll probably be towards the end of the stream, but we're just waiting to see what the oil inventories are. They weren't, let's see. They decreased by, they were actually better than we thought last release, right? So they only decreased by 0.24 million. We were expecting a decrease of 1.7 million barrels. So overall, we want smaller decreases. We want increases actually in the oil, right? We don't want oil prices going up. We would rather that there are more inventories around and that there's less demand for oil and that oil can be cheaper, at least from an inflation standpoint. However, it seems to be the case that we're probably going to start seeing some pretty high oil prices. We'll see what happens. But overall, it's not looking great. And then at, 2 o'clock, the Fed will be revealing their interest rate decision. Okay, so it's forecast to stay at 0.25. It's forecast to stay at 0.25, and we'll see what they end up doing. But we're getting a forecast of 0.25%. That's what we've had for the past long time. Way back until January of 2020, or March is when we ended up lowering it to 0.25, and it's been that way ever since. So we'll see. The interest rates, let's see, they were doing, let's pull this back actually. It's pretty pathetic what the interest rates are going all the way back to the 1980s. If you look at this chart, I mean, here's the interest rates that the Fed has set pretty darn low. And you can see that ever since 2008, they lowered them and they kept them low. And then in 2016, they started raising them just barely. Then in 2019, around the middle of 2019, they started lowering them again. And finally, as COVID hit, we lowered them back to basically nothing. And that's where they've stayed. So we'll see if the Fed starts raising interest rates. I just don't know if they can do it quickly enough, if they can do it without crashing the economy. We'll see what happens. It'll be a scary time if the Fed starts raising interest rates sooner than expected. I doubt they'll raise them in this meeting. That would be too much of a blindside to the market. I think that people would not be very happy if all of a sudden the interest rates rose. I do expect that we'll probably see 0.25 for the interest rate again. I think that people definitely like it when the Fed communicates decently with them. So I doubt we would see an increase today, but they might talk about doing an increase sooner rather than later, right? They might start talking about a potential increase. So we've also got, during that same time, at 2 o'clock, I believe it was, the Federal Open Market Committee statement. So we'll see Powell talking, I believe, and their economic projections as well. So they're going to be doing quite a bit at this meeting, and they'll be doing a press conference with Powell at 2:30, it looks like. So there we go. We've got a lot of events going on for the Fed, and 9:30, of course, it's 9:31. I missed the first bars of the market. I wasn't paying attention, but we'll take a peek at what's going on. So it looks like the S&P was green a second ago. Pretty much everything else. DWAC is green on the day. We're up 4.66% from close. Sundial, most of that's because of the pump we had in after hours. AMC is down 0.68%. Sundial down 0.75%. And SPY pretty much no change, down 0.05%. So basically nothing. We're going to see. And Acorn Sucks says it's a disincentive to save. The very low interest rates, yeah, they are a disincentive to save. So yeah, it's definitely a disincentive, keeping the interest rates so low. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I will pull up that chart one more time just because it's almost an insane thing to see just how long we've had these very low interest rates. And part of the reason, I'll see if I can pull this up, but you see the interest rates used to be a whole lot higher Now they're very low, and we barely got them up in the past when we were raising them. So let me pull this up real quick, but let's look at the national debt. Let's see. Well, here's a clock of it. So here's the clock of the national debt, and you can see $29 trillion, and it's just constantly going up. So scary stuff to see, the national debt increasing, but that's not what we want. We want a chart of the national debt. So let's see if we can't find a chart of the national debt. So federal debt over time. Okay. And this is going back about as far as we can. I guess back to 2001, we had maybe a $6 trillion national debt, and you can see that it's just gone up and up and up, and really started to ramp up during the pandemic. So we certainly ramped it up a bit. We didn't move up too much during the 2001 recession, actually. 2008, we certainly took out some more money, and it looks like we ramped it up a ton in 2019, going into 2020 for whatever reason. We just did it. We took out a ton more debt in 2019, going into 2020 before the pandemic began. So that's interesting to see. I would have thought that there was a little bit more spending during the pandemic than that, but I guess that's what we got. So it looks like DWAC moving up. It's up 7% on the day. Good stuff. On good news, too, AMC crashing a little bit. It's not crashing necessarily, but it's moving down. And Stephen Mongan says, last I checked, it was 17 just 2 years ago. Yeah, so let's see that chart again, actually, real quick, if I can find it. Wherever I put it. I don't know which tab I put it on, but let me just pull it up here. So yeah, a couple years ago, last time it was 17, was around 2014, 2015. So, time flies, man. Time flies, I'll say. 2014 and 2015 don't seem like that long ago to me, honestly. But, yeah, I remember back then when it was under 20 trillion, it still seemed pretty scary at those prices, but it's even scarier now, so. Oh, good morning, Ambition. Welcome to the stream. We've covered quite a bit. We've got a lot of interesting things going on in the markets today. DWAC up on good news. Well, not necessarily new news, but they've given some more details on the partnership with Rumble. So I will pull this up. Because it's looking like we've got some new people in the stream. So TMTG today announced that it has entered into a wide-ranging technology and cloud services agreement with Rumble Inc. As part of the partnership, Rumble will deliver video and streaming services for Truth Social, and potentially they're also negotiating whether or not Rumble will provide infrastructure and video delivery services for the subscription video on-demand product TMTG Plus that they're planning to collect about, I think it was $4 billion worth of revenue each year from come 2026. That's what they're expecting. Based off of the projections that they've shown. And Trump actually said, as part of our mission, TMTG continues to align with service providers who do not discriminate against political ideology. Therefore, I've selected the Rumble Cloud to serve as a critical backbone for TMTG infrastructure. TMTG has already launched True Social on the Rumble Cloud for invited guests only, and the initial beta launch has been excellent. America is ready for True Social and the end to cancel culture. So very cool stuff. Good news on that front. We've also caught cannabis legalization in Malta. And pull this up. We're just waiting on the president's signature for this thing to be fully legal in Malta, the first European country to do it. The first country in Europe to enact cannabis legalization. So that'll give Malta a little bit of a head start on everybody, but not from the commercial aspect. Okay, this is only for personal use, essentially, right? They can do nonprofits and they can do personal use, but there's no commercial market. So there won't be dispensaries necessarily. You can do cannabis clubs that can distribute cannabis. They can have 500 members at the most. They can distribute cannabis and cannabis seeds. People can grow their own as well. So very cool. Very cool stuff from Malta. And also the Supreme Court is being asked to settle states' conflict on medical marijuana insurance reimbursements. People are asking, workers who are hurt on the job are asking to be reimbursed for the cost of medical cannabis used to treat those job-related injuries. And they're asking the Supreme Court to decide if insurance has to pay that or not. The Supreme Court has not decided if they're going to start covering that case, if they're going to take that case in and they're going to make a decision on it. They haven't decided yet. But they might. And DWAC looks like, while we've been looking at that, has taken a little bit of a downturn. It's starting to move down. It's still up on the day. It's up 2.76%. So overall, doing pretty good. Sundial, though. Sundial has just been downtrending a little bit ever since the market opened. It was technically downtrending a little bit, just barely, in the pre-market during the first hour of it, or the last hour of it. But really nothing too significant, and we're down to 55 cents on Sundial. It looks like that has held as support yesterday. So we'll potentially see, I mean, it bounced off of that a couple of times yesterday. We'll potentially see a bounce off of it again today. And Worlds Arizvi says, hit that like. So yeah, that's something we could do, guys. We've got 93 viewers in the stream, 69 likes. I almost don't want to say hit it and change that, but we probably should. So we've got 69 likes. If anyone wants to be the one like that takes us to 70, feel free to do it. That could be, we already got there. So maybe we'll get to 80. Maybe we can get to 80 if a couple of people hit the like button. And Buddy B says, good morning, Rob. Do you have GETTR? Twitter is now trying to censor mute posts like Facebook. On Getter, we can speak freely, so I was wondering if you had Getter. I don't have Getter. I've never heard of Getter. I will pull it up. Let's see, GETTR. The marketplace of ideas. Getter is a social media platform and microblogging site targeted to American conservatives. It was developed by a company called Chain of Inc. and founded by Jason Miller, a former Donald Trump aide and spokesman, and officially launched on July 4th, 2021. Interesting. No, I don't have Getter, actually. I don't have it, but that's interesting stuff. I'm trying not to get too many social media accounts. The True Social I'll probably get, but other than that, I'm trying to not to get too many new ones. Because I barely post on the ones that I've got. I barely post. Although, I will point out, if you guys follow me on Twitter, let me pull up my Twitter or Instagram. I did post something amusing. I believe I posted something amusing the other day. Let's see if I actually posted it. Yeah, here's my most recent tweet out. Now, I did take this picture from the Babylon Bee, or it's not the Bee, but it's just a picture of Snoop Dogg. It says, first off, I hope inflation doesn't get any higher. And then it says inflation. It's a picture of Snoop Dogg smoking something. So it's an interesting tweet. I thought it was a fun one. So if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, I will say, at Rob Almazy. You can follow me on Twitter. I've got 11 followers so far. So you guys could be some of the first. You could be some of the first if you end up following me. That would be cool. So it looks like the markets are turning a little bit red today. The S&P is starting to move down. It's down 0.2% and counting. It's starting to move down even more. It looks like if we do end up breaking past this little bump, let's see on the 5-minute chart what we've got for the S&P. Okay, so we've got some support at 460. We've got some support there. We're not quite there yet. Obviously, we're not down all that much. We're not down too far from the highs. We're only about 10, 15 bucks away from the highs. We could certainly get up to all-time highs. Not necessarily today. I mean, maybe if we really shot up. But over the next couple of days, by the end of the week, if we have some good days today and tomorrow, then we could, by the end of the week, get up to all-time highs on the S&P. So anytime you can say that, we're really not in too red of a place. And Shadow333 says, Rob, I'm following you on IG. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. I've got more followers there than I do on Twitter. I've recently started using Twitter. So on Twitter or on Instagram, I think I've got, let me see if I can pull up my Instagram. Maybe I can. So, yeah, I don't know the password and stuff. I don't want to deal with logging in. Oh, well. I just followed you, Rob Amaze. You better follow back. I might, Zach. I'll look at Twitter. Let's see. We'll tell you what. We'll see what Zach's Twitter is. Hopefully he's okay with us looking at it. Hopefully he's okay with us looking at it. So let's see. Oh, wow. We actually bumped up quite a bit. Take a peek at that, guys. We were at 11 followers just a minute ago. A bunch of people must have just followed because now we have 17 followers. So very cool. Thank you, guys, for following. Very cool. We've got quite a few new followers. So there we go. There we go. And I'm guessing this, Zach with the Flames, is probably Zach Taylor. The further society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. George Orwell. Very cool. Very good tweet. Where is that tweet, actually? Let me... Oh, that's your bio. That's your bio. We'll give Zach a follow. How about that, guys? Give Zach a follow, too, if you feel like it. Do the Candlestick by Rob Almazy, says Kitchener Leslie. Do the Candlestick. I don't know what you mean by that, Kitchener. I'm not too sure what you're saying. And Rich M says, new Twitter CEO doesn't believe in free speech. I don't do Twitter. Understandable. Okay, Shadow Girl changed to Shadow 333. That makes sense. I thought it was a similar name. All right. 333 is the favorite number. Interesting. So, Buddy B. Rich, you're right. I keep getting muted as well as others also. Facebook is doing the same. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we were actually just looking at it, and it looks like on Twitter, Elon Musk, someone was saying, I think Zach was saying, that Elon Musk had tweeted. Where did Elon tweet about this? Elon Musk had tweeted about potentially someone, I think Zach was saying this, the Native American aspect of Elizabeth Warren, and we couldn't find those tweets. Now, obviously, I'm a Twitter novice. I don't know how to find that tweet. But it seems like it should be in this feed here. And if it's not, then there's the potential maybe he deleted it, but maybe Twitter got rid of that. It would seem like an odd move for them to get rid of Elon Musk's tweet. It would seem like a strange move. So who knows what ended up happening with that. I don't know if if Twitter wants to upset Elon over something like that, if they want to get rid of one of his tweets. Who knows? We'll see. And Acorn Sucks says, Elon has a bad tone for Niner. Bad tone for Niner. I'm not sure what that means either, man. It could be your TikTok dance, says Kitchener Leslie. Yeah, if I ever posted to TikTok. I have a TikTok, but I don't think I have anything posted to it. So there you go. There's nothing on my TikTok, but I don't even know if it's still public. I might have deleted it. I don't use TikTok. It seemed just a little bit too addictive. I wasn't a big fan. In fact, let's see if we can find something on that. Okay, so here we go. How TikTok is addictive. We'll pull this up real quick. Pull this up. So, how TikTok is addictive. Psychological impacts of TikTok's content recommendation system. TikTok is the fastest growing social media platform in the world. Each month, TikTok has 800 million active users. That is more active users than Twitter, Reddit, Snapchat, and Pinterest. Unlike these and other rival platforms, TikTok at its core recommends content. Recommendations aren't for a feature, but are what makes TikTok work. All right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here we go. TikTok App Store downloads worldwide. In Q4 of 2018, it outpaced YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat by a decent amount, by multiple millions. That being said, it is a newer platform, right? So a lot of people have already downloaded these apps. But that is interesting to see that it outpaced them by so much. And scary statistic, a staggering 41% of self-reported TikTok users are aged 16 to 24 years old. That's kind of scary. The platform is restricted to those aged 13 years or older. And from the sentiment of those who use or recognize the platform, it would not be surprising if the platform has a much larger younger audience. So this sentence almost doesn't make sense. The platform is restricted to those aged 13 years or older. I think they might mean younger. But yeah, TikTok is definitely fairly addictive. Scary stuff. And, I used it for a little bit, and then I saw the patterns of just getting on it for too long. Every time you click on a thing, you get sucked into this rabbit hole, and it just never ends because they instantly push a video into your face. And the real scary part is when you click the back arrow to exit an app, usually it takes you right out of the app. What it would do with TikTok is it takes you back to the front page of it, basically, and starts showing you a new TikTok, and they all start up so quickly that you instantly get engaged into this TikTok because people have made them with the intent of engaging people the first second they see the video. So you end up just getting sucked in for a lot longer than is ideal. And I definitely didn't like that. So I deleted TikTok. I think it's a little too addictive. I didn't find myself learning too much from the 50-second videos or whatever. I think that kind of limits what you can learn, but I wasn't a big fan of TikTok. It wasn't providing me with any information. It was entertaining for sure, but it wasn't even that valuable of a form of entertainment, right? It was just a time sink, a time killer, basically. And I need less time killers. I need more time gainers. I need more time, not less. So I got rid of TikTok, but overall, the S&P is still moving down, and it's not down that much. It's down 0.3%. Obviously, as the day goes on, we can keep saying, oh, it's only down 0.5%, it's only down 8%, and we can just keep going on and on throughout the day saying that. It's not down that much, though, and we haven't gotten to 460 yet, which is the support that we've got. That's what we hit yesterday and bounced off of, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. We were pretty darn stagnant with the S&P over the course of the after hours and pre-market. We barely moved. Now we're seeing a bit of bearish momentum, so not ideal. And it is taking some stocks with it. DWAC is moving down a little bit. Sundial is moving down. AMC is moving down. They're all going down with the S&P. And Buddy B, looking for Zach on Twitter. I'll show you. I'll show you guys who else I follow on Twitter. I follow some good people, I think. Here we go. So these are my followers on Twitter. Zach's there, number 1 right there. Zach with the flames, everybody knows. And also Peter Schiff. I'm following The Rock, of course. Got to follow The Rock. Andrew Yang, he has some interesting ideas. I saw him on Joe Rogan. He was decent. I think that he has some ideas that could be useful in the future. I don't know if UBI makes sense right now. For those of you who know Andrew Yang, he's a big proponent for UBI. He was running for president in, I think it was 2020 or maybe 2016. And he was on Joe Rogan. He always makes a big argument for universal basic income. And I think eventually that will make sense. His idea is that, automation is going to take away all the jobs and that we're going to need a way for people to have money. And I think UBI Silver says is coming. I think it is. I think it is coming. I think that at a certain point, definitely at some point in the next 20 years, there's going to be so much automation, probably robotic workers and that kind of stuff, that there will be nothing that people can do to make money, at least that the masses can do to make money. Some people will still have ways. There will still be some jobs probably, but people will need some way to sustain themselves. And once we have a bunch of automation, it would make sense to have some form of universal basic income. Right now, it doesn't make the most sense. It wouldn't be too good now because we still need people doing work. But in the future, once we have a lot of automation, the options will be do UBI and give people money so that they can buy food and whatnot, or don't, and people will have no way to make money and they'll starve. So I think UBI makes sense in the future. I also follow Jocko Willink. He's ex-military, also on Joe Rogan a couple of times. Inspirational guy. He's up super early in the morning. In fact, if you take a look at his Twitter, you can see he posts a picture every morning when he gets up of his watch, and he gets up around 4 in the morning, and then I think this is maybe when he gets to the gym is when he takes this picture. So he got there at 4:30 this morning, 4:30 yesterday morning, 4:20 on Monday. So Jocko Willink's an interesting guy, motivational guy for the most part. Chris D'Elia, he was on Joe Rogan. He says some funny stuff sometimes. Elon Musk, of course. Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Terminator was a really good movie series. I follow him. Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan talks to all kinds of people. He's very open-minded. I like Joe Rogan, probably one of my favorite influencers out there. And Tony Robbins, also very inspirational. One of the first inspirational people that I started listening to, just talks about bettering your life and having a better outlook and stuff. Definitely, I recommend giving Tony Robbins a look. In fact, he has an amazing Netflix documentary. Let's see if we can pull it up. We'll see if we can find this, but I wonder if we could even show the trailer. I don't. We won't do it, but here you go. Here's the Netflix page. Tony Robbins, I am not your guru. Tony Robbins' clients swear by his unorthodox life coaching methods. A revealing film goes behind the curtains at his annual mega event. I highly recommend this documentary. If you guys haven't seen it, very inspirational. And Silver is liking Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand. In fact, I should follow him on Twitter. I follow him on Instagram. So I will actually. I'll give Russell Brand. Russell Brand. So there we go. I definitely like Russell Brand a lot, actually. He posts some interesting things. On Instagram, he posts quite a bit. He posts a lot of videos on Instagram. So, yeah, thank you for that, Silver. I forgot about Russell Brand. Like I said, I don't use Twitter all that often, so I'm not following all the usuals that I do on Instagram. But once again, I should point this out. Tony Robbins on Netflix, worth taking a peek at. I am not your guru. Just a good documentary. It's only, how long is this? An hour 56, so under 2 hours you get, I think, a very inspirational show from him. Now, DWAC, it looks like we're hitting $50. It's looking like we're hitting $50, and Kitchener-Leslie is a fan of Tony Robbins, it looks like. And Silver says, Rob, you must find Scott McKay. I've not heard of Scott McKay. I'll take who is Scott McKay? Former member of the National Assembly of Quebec. Okay, a Canadian politician. Okay, is this the guy you're talking about, Scott McKay? Potentially member of the National Assembly of Quebec. I think that's who you're talking about. Well, he's a former leader of the Green Party and a former Montreal Council member. McKay was elected in 2008. Okay, we'll take a peek. We'll take a peek at Scott McKay sometime. And David Amer says, love Tony Robbins. He's the best performance coach out there. And Zach Taylor says he's definitely selling all his metal for tax loss on the last trading day of the year. That makes a lot of sense. I might have to do it. Of course, it'll be the case the day I sell them that they start shooting up. And keep in mind, Zach, you have to wait 30 days to buy back in if you want to take that tax loss. So, I mean, hopefully we won't see metals start moving up, but during that period. But it might happen. You never know. The inflation situation only seems to be getting worse. I've let go of a decent amount of metal, some mining companies, kind of just consolidating my positions into some other ones, but it's a bit of a risky move. I've let go of some metals. I let go of some of the physical metal stocks and started tracking some more mining companies. It looks like Sundial's starting to rebound, though. DWAC seeing a little bit of a move up, as is the SPY. So, all in all, decent stuff that we're seeing. Not the worst day. We've definitely had worse days in the market. You guys know, we've definitely seen a lot worse than this, so nothing really to complain about. Up 1% on DWAC, down less than 1% on Sundial, the S&P down 0.3%. Not much to complain about here. So overall, pretty good stuff. I'm not too upset about this. AMC is suffering the worst of the bunch. They are moving down a little bit. They're down 3.4% on the day, but that's somewhat understandable, right? They're seeing a little bit of a bounce off of $25. They stagnated a bit in the after hours and pre-market. And now, as soon as the market opened, they just took a little dip, took a little dive, and then started stagnating there. So, and Zach says, I'll have to buy back different metal tickers then. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That makes a lot of sense. I'm considering that also. One thing that I was looking into is I do hold some options. Some Barrick Gold call options, GOLD. I'm down big on those call options. So, because obviously, over the past, let's see, I don't know how long exactly I've been holding them, but Barrick Gold has gone down quite a bit. It's near the lows, though. So this could be a bouncing point for them. But, man, they sure got smashed over the past 30 days. Ridiculous. But I've gotten hurt on these options, so I'm considering selling those options. And what's unclear is, right, if you look at the strike dates for, let's take a peek at gold options real quick. I looked into this, and the only source I could find on it said it was just unclear if this was allowed. But if I sell some of the call options that I have, say for January of 2023, and buy the call options for January 2024, I don't know if that is a wash sale, because I'm buying up similar, different options, right? It's not the same strike price. It's not the same strike date. I don't know if that would be allowed. We'll see. We'll see if that's allowed. If it is, then I'd like to do that. I'd rather roll the options back a little bit and take the tax loss on the ones that are down, because it's technically a different thing, right? It's not the same strike price or strike date. It's an option on the stock, but who knows? The only site that I found said it was unclear, so I'll have to do some additional research into that. We've still got about 15 days left in December to figure it out, so I'll be looking into that. But NJ Niner says DWAC needs to hit 42.8 as much as it'll hurt. Fill that gap and run. I don't just want to squeeze. I want a solidified boom. Yeah, it needs to hit 42.80, it says. Okay, I see. Let's see where that gap is. So let's see where that gap is. 42.8. Is there a gap? I'm not seeing 42.80. I'm not seeing much of a gap on DWAC. Is there a gap? I don't know. I'm looking for it, but I don't see a massive gap in DWAC. It looks like everything's been filled for the most part. I mean, and it's worth saying, it's only 90% or something of the gaps that end up getting filled. There's a chance that DWAC might not fill it, right? If there is a gap on it, then there's a chance that it could be one of the ones that just does very well. Typically, it's companies that have decent fundamentals, and it's looking, the more we hear about it, like DWAC is going to have some pretty good fundamentals the longer it goes on for. So I'm not too worried about it. And Florida Girl asks, is DWAC going to fill the gap at $43? So that's what I'm not sure about. I'm not sure where this gap at $43 is. I'm looking for it. Maybe this is the gap you're talking about, that gap up, but it looks like that's been filled. I'm just not seeing any gap, right? There's no place where I can draw a line that doesn't end up touching a bar. So we'll see. Remember, 175 just on speculation. Trump numbers are low and too far spread out to 2025. Those numbers are off. They will hit those numbers by end of 2023. Possible. It's definitely possible. I mean, better probably to have slightly worse numbers than we're expected, right? Because the numbers he's released already sound really good. But if he releases those numbers knowing that he can do a lot better, then it'll just be all the more impressive when TMTG surpasses those expectations. People will certainly be really hyping it up when they surpass those expectations years in advance. And I don't see why not. I think a lot of people are going to be following this. I think a lot of people, as soon as they hear about it, are going to jump right on board. And $9 a month is not a very high price, right? It's not too much to ask for a subscription to a new video streaming platform. It's much cheaper than Netflix. In fact, I just got billed for my Netflix subscription, which I don't even know why I have, but it costs $15 a month now, so it's pretty darn expensive. And there's nothing really on Netflix that I want to watch anyways, except The Witcher, which is coming out sometime this week, I think, maybe this Friday. What's up, Abstract? What's up, man? Looks like we got Abstract in the chat. We can finally talk about cryptos. We can do it now that he's here. So Bitcoin, not much has changed with cryptos, fortunately, right? Because it was looking like things were getting a little bit worrying. Things were getting a little bit worrying over the past couple of days. Bitcoin is basically stagnant. It's up 0.03%. It's still just sitting around 47,000. Ethereum down 1% to $3,700. Not the worst change. Binance Coin down 1.32% to $515. All in all, not the worst. In fact, the coin that's getting hurt the most is Dogecoin. It's down 8%. After the Elon news has kind of faded, right? The news that Elon would be accepting Dogecoin for Tesla merch, that has faded away. We're down to 17.5 cents for Dogecoin. So, all in all, not the worst move. But but it is a little worrying, right? We didn't maintain these highs, and the highs didn't go super high. We got up to 21.75 cents. So we could have done a bit better with Dogecoin. I would have liked to see us moving up a little bit more than we did. And we have faded away, and we're pretty darn close, actually. We're actually below where we were 7 days ago at this point. So that's too bad for Dogecoin. But you never know. It does show the fact that Elon tweeted out about this, that Elon is in support of Dogecoin. So that's really good to see. He hasn't forgotten about it, and we'll probably see more tweets from him in the future. The fact that he's accepting it at Tesla is very nice. So good stuff. He's accepting Dogecoin. Who knows what they're going to do in the future? I think that Dogecoin has a bright future ahead of it, most likely. And stand up has arrived. Morning Wednesday. Sundial. Let's make money. I'm hoping. It's looking like from the chart we are seeing a little bit of a bounce on Sundial. So we're starting to move up again. We got hit a little bit come the first couple of bars of the market, and it's looking like we're starting to move up again. We're down about 1% on Sundial. Overall, not the most worrying thing. So DWAC bouncing off of $50. Good to see. Barrick Gold, I'm not sure why we even have this pulled up anymore, but it always does bad. I don't think it should, but it always does. Gold, as long as gold is getting hurt, gold is down, and so Barrick Gold is also going to be down. Gold is down 0.15%, and silver is down 1.38%. I mean, just getting crazy cheap. Let's see what the spot price on silver is at this point, actually. Boy, it's getting cheap. I wonder though, because the premiums that you were paying to buy physical silver have been very high over the past couple of months. I wonder if they would still be very high, or if they've gone down. Hopefully they've gone down, because I would like to get some physical. That sounds nice. I'll take a peek at that maybe sometime this week. I'll ask the guy if it's any cheaper, but in fact we can probably figure it out ourselves online. So let me pull up AMC real quick just to get it back on the chart, and then let me look at the Amex, or maybe it's not the Amex. Maybe it is the Amex. I don't know. So APMEX, that's the one. So 1 ounce silver bars, they're selling for 25. So what's silver's spot price right now? So on Kitco, it says silver spot price is $21.63. So that's the bid on silver, and it looks like. Okay, so if we're pulling up APMEX, American Precious Metals Exchange, something. I don't know exactly what it stands for, but you can get these for about $25.44. Not the best price. I don't actually buy my stuff here. I prefer to get it in person, because then I get to walk out with stuff I know I've bought, but let's see. So we're doing pretty good for silver prices. They're going down. I'm hoping, it would be awesome, I remember the days when silver was trading for below $20 an ounce. I should have loaded up on it then. Could have gotten double what I've gotten, but we'll see. They're still charging quite a bit. Of a premium for silver at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see what we can get. So an abstract says we're supposed to get hurricane force winds here in Colorado today. Wow. Hurricane strength. Jeez. All right. So, and Zach Taylor says, good luck getting physical in person for less than 27. Yeah, I know the way. They've been charging quite a bit for it lately. So what else we got? We got someone said something. Hold on. There was Max Pierce. Rob, what about NAKD today? Is it a good time to buy more NAKD? So, it's pretty darn cheap. It's down 6%. Jeez, it looks like it just bottomed out. Did something happen to NAKD? I haven't looked at it today. So at 8, At 8 o'clock, electric vehicle manufacturer Central Automotive selects Jacksonville, Florida site for new U.S. manufacturing plant. That only sounds like good news. So I don't know why we would be moving down so much on NAKD stock. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything. I mean, this is definitely a better price than it was at a couple days ago. Now also, I'll point out a couple of things. So in this article that we used in the NAKD video yesterday, it says naked shareholders will receive 7 shares in the new entity for every 3 existing NAKD shares. So it sounds like you'll about double your share count from what this article is saying. I've seen a couple other articles saying the same thing. However, someone in the comments was saying that that's not the case, that they'll be doing a 15-for-1 return of NAKD shares. So the person in the comments was saying they'll take 15 shares of NAKD and give you back 1 share of the new thing. And obviously, they'll adjust the price. So whenever a transaction like that goes through, your capital amount shouldn't change. That, in a way, makes a little bit more sense because that would be increasing the price of the stock. But at the same time, I don't know why this article would be reporting on it as if you'll be getting 7 shares for every 3 existing NAKD shares. So I'm not sure why they would be saying that, but I will look into it, guys. I will try to figure that out. I will try to figure it out. So there's a possibility. I mean, it almost doesn't make sense that they would give you double the shares and half the share price, because then NAKD would be trading at, be trading at like 25 cents per share or less at these prices. So it doesn't really make too much sense. It almost makes a little bit more sense to try to 15x the price and decrease the share count, but we'll see what happens with it. So I will look more into that and try to figure out. I just felt like I should say that just in case that person in the comments was right and that the article that I was pulling from was wrong, which it does say naked shareholders will receive 7 shares in the new entity for every 3 existing NAKD shares they own. So sure seems like if this article knows what it's talking about, and I've seen in other articles too. Let's see if I can find some other ones. Let's see. Okay, so here we got it also on Nasdaq.com. Naked will swap every 3 existing NAKD shares for 7 new shares to Central holders. So I don't know what they're saying about it. I mean, it seems like multiple places are saying you'll be getting 7 for 3. But who knows? NAKD is crashing. It's down 6.7%. It's not crashing necessarily. It's potentially an additional buying opportunity, but it is moving down, unfortunately. We would have preferred to see it moving up at this point. It's getting pretty cheap, and who's to say why? It seems like it's right before a really good merger. Maybe someone knows something we don't. Maybe someone knows the merger is not going through, or they're betting on it not going through. That would certainly be bad for them if it didn't. But overall, NAKD, it seems like they should be doing pretty good. Now, Brazil AA, good morning, man. What's up? Welcome to the stream. And David Amer, lots of good shorts played this morning in the market. Rob, does it say when the split is going to happen on NAKD? So I'm pretty sure it's, I think it was the 20th that they were having the meeting. And I think that it should happen right after the meeting. So I'm pretty sure it's the 20th, but don't quote me on that. So let's see. I'm 90% sure it's the 20th. Okay, so here we go. So, the company is going green pending shareholder approval at a special meeting on December 21st. Naked Brands will merge with Central Automotive, an EV technology firm. The new company will go forward under the Central name, albeit with the NAKD stock symbol. So, there are 2 potential ways this could go down. Either on December 21st, the deal could go through entirely, and they could change the symbol since they already know what they're doing, and they're just waiting on the vote. Or at this meeting, they could then decide, all right, and in 10 days, we'll complete the merger. So they might end up saying that it's going to be a couple of days from this date, but I think that it's supposed to finish, I think the deal is supposed to finish sometime in 2021. So it would make sense if they just did it right then and there. So keep an eye on the 21st. That's when they're having the meeting. All right. Powell funeral at 2 p.m., says Silver. Red is an acceptable color to wear as well as traditional all black. We'll see. We'll see. I assume people will not be too happy with what Powell is saying. And also, let's see. We've got business inventories coming out. So business inventories measures the change in the worth of unsold goods held by manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers. We've got these numbers that just came out at 10 a.m., worse than expected. So business inventories measures the change in the worth of goods unsold that are held by manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers. We saw a 1.1% increase in those goods, or we were forecast to have a 1.1% increase. We saw a 1.2% increase, so pretty darn close. But basically, a lot of goods went unsold. So that's kind of falling in line with... where do we have it? We had it somewhere here. The retail sales. So the retail sales were not as good as we were expecting. They were 0.3% when we were forecast to have 0.8%. And that definitely aligns with business inventories being higher than expected. So it's almost not in line with what we were thinking inflation-wise, right? If you were expecting inflation, then you would see inventories being a lot lower. You would see not many goods for how much money people have got, and you'd see retail sales also potentially being lower, right, if people are buying less stuff due to inflation. But overall, it's not been that bad. So do they include the inventories on ships, asks Silver. I don't know about that. Let's see if they... I don't think. I think it just said in warehouses, but let's see what they say. Held by manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers. So I don't think so. I think if they're on ships, then probably not. Probably not. So it could be much, much higher if all those goods are on ships. There we go. So there you go. I don't think it counts the ships. But in 15 minutes, we have crude oil inventories coming out. And we are expected to have a decrease in the inventories of about 2 million barrels. And we haven't gotten the numbers yet, but at 10:30 we will. In just about 15 minutes we'll know what happened to the oil inventories. I'm hoping that we'll have not as big of a decrease as it's saying. I really don't want gas prices to go up that much more. I would much rather see gas prices going down. That would be much better for us probably if gas prices weren't on the rise and inflation wasn't as prevalent. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's worth noting that today the VIX is up. The VIX is up a little bit today. We're making new highs on the VIX over the past couple of days. We're topping out around $23, but maybe we can break it. People are expecting slightly riskier markets over the past couple of days. They've been expecting that. So move back to the SPY. Overall, the S&P has stopped its descent for the past about, let's see, from 10:15 to 9:50. So the past like 20, 30 minutes, the S&P has been holding fairly steady. Sundial, it looks like, just got slammed a couple of minutes ago. We weren't looking when it did, but it looks like it got slammed by a couple of red bars. It hasn't dropped below 55 cents yet. It has bounced off of 55, actually, the time that it touched. So we'll see what happens with Sundial. DWAC continuing its bounce off of $50. And what did we wanted to AMC for those of you who are interested. Looks like AMC saw a little bounce off of near $25 this morning. We got to $24.81 and we're continuing the descent down 5% with AMC. So all in all, not the best situation for AMC, but as long as we don't get below 20, as long as we hold that support, then there might not be too much more pain. Of course, there's always the possibility that we could move down. But 20 has held as a fairly strong support, and I think if the apes want this movement to continue, they're probably going to have to hold it at 20, right? If it falls too far below 20, then I think too many people will be down on big money. Too many shorts might be up on big money, and shorts might begin to cover at those prices, right? Because a lot of shorts might end up not even being down on money anymore, right? Shorts might actually be green if we get down to $10 or lower than that. then shorts might be green at that point. If they've been adding to their positions, averaging up the cost of their shares shorted, then shorts might start to cover at these lower prices, and then there would be no point in holding it anymore if shorts are already out. So it could be bad. But there is still the chance to hold it at 20. So we'll see what happens at $20. It'll be up to probably Matt Kors and Trey's Trades if they want to keep this thing up. They're gonna have to do something about it. We'll see what they can do, but overall, we'll take a peek at the market cap on some of these stocks we have, or we can even look at the Ortex on this. So AMC, let's see what we've got for AMC Ortex data. If shorts have increased their positions, it looks like there are a couple more shorts coming in this thing actually. So it looks like shorts are realizing that they have this chance to push AMC down. Short interest change is up 2% today, bringing us up to 20% of the free float and 106 million shares short. So they're getting pretty close to record highs, actually. Very close to record highs. In fact, we only need less than 1 million more shares to be short to bring us to record high short interest on AMC stock. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. Now, DWAC will pull up. We'll see what we've got on DWAC. It might be good. Okay, this is interesting, actually. For DWAC, it looks like shorts are starting to get a little worried, right? Some shorts are exiting, potentially on this news that DWAC has confirmed the partnership with Rumble. So that's good stuff. Short interest change is down 1%. Very cool. And Sundial, we'll take a peek at. We'll see what the shorts are doing in Sundial. So Sundial, the same old story. It looks like 0.5% more shorts in Sundial stock than yesterday. 17% of the free float, 352 million shares short. So a small increase for Sundial. Nothing too crazy going on with Sundial. Nothing too crazy going on price-wise with Sundial either. And Buddy B is talking about this Supreme Court case. He's talking about medical marijuana versus medication. The Supreme Court might be ruling on this soon. They may decide to accept this case, and they're being asked to settle it by the states, at least, deciding whether or not medical marijuana will be covered by insurance. So this only applies to medical cannabis used to treat job-related injuries. So that's all that this would apply to. But it is interesting to see. And Zach Taylor just emailed me the link to Elon's tweet. So let's see if we can get my email to update. There we go. Let's see if we can't find this tweet. So a couple of weird links. Oh, here we go. There we go. So yeah, we found it. So here's the tweet. I'll pull it up on my phone. I'll show you guys on the screen. It says, replying to Senator Warren, stop projecting, he says. And we'll pull up the tweet right here. You can see it. Stop projecting. He says that and then tweets this article that says Elizabeth Warren is a fraud. Her lies about being Native American disqualify her from presidency, is what that article says from Fox News. So there you go. That's the tweet that we couldn't find on Elon. I'm not sure why we couldn't find it. I mean, potentially I was just doing a bad job. It looks like it's on Twitter. But let's see if I can find it now. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. I don't know why that's not visible on Twitter. It's not too easily found. Zach found it. He sent it to me. Thank you, Zach. So, Rocky Mountain Gobblers Rob, opinion on PHUN. I'm in the red but holding. We'll take a peek at PHUN. Pull it up right here. PHUN. Whew. So, it moved up also on the DWAC news. However, we've seen this happen over and over again. Now, what I worry about with PHUN is that there is the case, there is the situation where DWAC could end up doing very well, and all that PHUN has going for it, for the most, there are a couple of things that PHUN has going for it, but what PHUN has going for it for the most part, what caused the massive rise was its potential link to DWAC. So when it went from around $1 to $24 at the highs, and now to $3 where it is now, it was on a potential link between it and DWAC. Now, that has not been confirmed or denied, but I would worry that PHUN is over time going to fade away a little bit. That's what we've seen. And obviously none of this is financial advice, but what we've seen is that PHUN, if you look, has been a little bit more bearish than DWAC. Though DWAC has moved down, it's more recently been on a little uptrend, and PHUN has not quite done the same. We've seen some bumps at the same time, but it's been reluctant to maintain an uptrend. It's kept returning to $3. So if we were to get a confirmation that they were working with TMTG in the future, which DWAC, which we just got for Rumble, right? We just confirmed that Rumble and TMTG were working together. If we could get a confirmation for PHUN as well, that would definitely be really good for their stock price. They've also got their own crypto coin at this point. So if you're into crypto and you are interested in PHUN coin, then this is a potential play because they did launch that. And if you think that's going to do well, then potentially this could be good. They might, I will say they might end up working with TMTG because of that, right? Because the idea is they want PHUN coin to be a coin that that people use to pay out in exchange for their data. So potentially True Social will be collecting some data from people, and they'll be paying them in PHUN coin in exchange for that data. It seems like a fair transaction. Maybe they'll end up doing that. Maybe True Social will just go the route of not providing anyone anything for their data. Nobody else does, so no reason for them to necessarily. But that's what we're looking at with PHUN, right? It's slightly riskier. It definitely has more potential upside because it's a much smaller market cap. So on the hype, you could see it doing much better. But overall, it's a little riskier. It's definitely been a little bit more bearish than DWAC. So it's a little risky. I mean, and it's up to you, man. If you're gonna hold on to this, you've got to decide for yourself if you're in for the risk or not, right? A more secure hold is potentially DWAC, and that's just what I think, right? Because they've released some of their projections for the future. They've already secured $1.25 billion worth of funding for the company. They seem like they're in a fairly strong position. Obviously, PHUN, they hold some Bitcoin. They've got a bunch of money in Bitcoin. They've got an underlying business that does sell computers and whatnot, so they've got some stuff going for them. But they were valued at a much lower level than this before the Trump pump. So if it ends up being the case that those rumors aren't true, then they could be moving down. They could be moving down if they aren't working with DWAC or TMTG. So it's a risky one. It's a risky one. You can even see today the pattern playing out of them being a little bit more bearish than DWAC, right? DWAC is up 3%. PHUN is down 2%. So that's just the same kind of thing that we've seen over and over. They've just kept getting pushed down, whereas DWAC would be pushed down occasionally, but PHUN is pushed down a little bit more. So it's a risky one, but we'll see what happens with it. So Corporate Universe Inc. COUV up 113%. Wow. So COUV, we'll see. I've not heard of that. COUV, Corporate Universe, up 87% at this point now, so it's not up quite as much, but it's up to 6 cents from the 3 cents that it was at. So now it's at 5.8 cents. Really low volume on this one. Scary stuff. It's an over-the-counter. So we'll see what happens with COUV. And Silver, if you hadn't gotten rid of Twitter, you could follow Zach on Twitter, and then you guys could DM each other if you're looking to communicate. But it's tough. It's tough. It's tough doing this. So I'm not too sure how you guys could exchange info without sharing it with everybody at the moment, at least. If we had the Discord up and running and you guys were in it, then you could both DM each other. But we don't have the Discord yet, so I don't know if there's much that can be done. Oh well. So that's too bad. Oh, tell you what, Silver. If you go to my about page, how about this? If you go to my about page and you send me an email from an email that you want Zach to hit you up at, I can just forward that to him, and then you'll both have each other's email. If you're interested in that, then that would be easy enough to do. You just have to go to my about page on my channel and then click see business contact info. You just send me an email saying, "Hey, I'm Silver," and I'll forward it to Zach if you're interested. And then you guys will have a connection. So there you go. If you're interested in that, and in 3 minutes we've got the crude oil inventories coming out. So that will be happening very soon. I'm expecting potentially, I mean, it looks like the sales numbers were lower. Zach Taylor says that sounds good. So all you got to do, Silver, if you've got an email, just send me a quick email and I can share that after the stream with Zach. But I'm expecting that since the sales numbers were so low, potentially there weren't as many deliveries. Who knows what the heck was going on? But potentially we'll see better than expected. And of course, it'll be a red number, right? Because technically it's worse than expected for crude oil prices, but better than expected inventories numbers. I'm expecting that they probably won't be as low as we're thinking. We won't see as big of a decrease. So hopefully we don't see too much of a decrease in the oil inventories. It would be amazing if we actually saw an increase, right? Because gas has been getting pretty darn expensive. Although I will say, I went to Costco the other day and it was I think I was saving about 50 cents a gallon. It was crazy how big of a discount Costco gives you on gas. It's definitely worth getting there. I mean, it's ended up saving like $10 or something crazy. And Max Pierce says, Rob, take a look at TLRY. It looks low today. TLRY. We'll take a peek at TLRY. It's down to 780. Geez, down below $8. Crazy stuff. I mean, this is the dip before the rip if I ever saw it. I mean, people are saying that about AMC. I think it's even more true of TLRY. I think we're going pretty high with these cannabis stocks next year. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. TLRY is super low, down to 780. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've sold some put options on it, so I'll be looking to collect on those put options come 2023, obviously. It probably won't be that low in 2023, but we'll see what we have. Jeez, I mean, TLRY is super cheap. You know, all the cannabis stocks getting pushed down way too much. I think this is the definition of oversold if I ever saw it. Just getting slammed over the past couple of months. All the hype has worn out. Everybody thinks they're crashing and going to zero, and they're just getting pushed down to, I mean, below $10 on TLRY. It's crazy stuff, especially with the chances that we have for legalization next year, as well as just the improvements in their business model. I mean, they were making money 2 quarters ago. It's not like I mean, granted, last quarter they ended up coming through with a loss, but 2 quarters ago they were in the green money-wise, so they were making some money. So we'll see. We'll see. And Abstract says, I paid $3.84 per gallon this morning. Only put 3.5 gallons in my car. Yeah, it's crazy expensive, man. It's only like $3.30 where I'm at, but crazy stuff. And Acorn Sucks says, when oil rises, gas goes up within hours. When oil drops, it takes a week for prices to come down. Yeah, that's the case. That's the case I found. The companies, they need to make some money. So, all right. 10:30. We've got 10:30 coming in right here. Let's see what the oil inventories are. Wow. It's looking like Zach's about to head to work. See you tomorrow, Zach. But we are about to see much higher gas prices. I mean, look at this. We were forecast to have a decrease of 2 million barrels. We saw a decrease of 4.5 million barrels. So more than double what we were forecast to have a decrease of. A ton of decrease in the inventory. I mean, minus 4.5 million barrels. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It's looking like gas is going to get a little bit more expensive. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it over the next couple of days if this affects gas prices. I should have filled up yesterday. I should have just gotten whatever gas I could. I mean, wow, crazy. Big, huge decrease in the oil inventories. 4 point. That's the most we've seen in many months. In many months. So that's the largest decrease we've seen since. That's the largest decrease we've seen since September of 2021. So not that long ago. All right, not that long ago. Many weeks. Many weeks. All right. So that's what we've got. It's now 10:30. We had that coming through. So the oil prices will likely be rising. We'll probably see higher gas prices at the pumps. And hopefully we'll see higher Sundial and DWAC prices over the next couple of days and weeks. Maybe TLRY 2 and AMC. We'll have to see if that can happen. But other than that, guys, that's what we've caught in the stream today. I will make a video. For those of you, who weren't watching the whole stream, who just popped in, I'll be making a video. And for those people, I mean, not everyone watches the streams. I will make a video covering the DWAC news that came out about the merger, or not the merger, but about the partnership with Rumble. And I'll be talking about some Sundial legalization stuff going on in Europe. We already talked about that a bit on the stream. So that's what I'll be releasing later today. Those are two important things that I think people should know about. And a lot more people watch the videos than the streams. But the streams are very fun. I enjoy them. So thank you guys for joining me. Other than that, though, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Later, Abstract and Silver. See you guys. Bye.